Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we are led by the amazing Commanding General YAHANNA. You understand? Today is Friday. This is the I.S.U.P.K. Port Arthur / Beaumont Friday Lashawan Qadash class. Lashawan Qadash means holy tongue. It is the native it is the native language of the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites of antiquity. The Holy Bible is about the Israelites, for the Israelites, and written by the Israelites. And the Lashawan Qadash is our culture. It was the language that Adam, derived, or he made up from getting from the Most High. Slaki, he didn't make it up, but he devised the language from things that he saw and through the instruction of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And he created the alphabet, and the first person to ever be, the God's chosen person or God's chosen people, Adam. And that language carried out down to the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what I'm saying? And now in the Old Testament, the language that the Israelites used was Hebrew. So that's what we do today. We get into the Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? We get into our culture, because the languages of English, French or Creole, and even Spanish, those aren't our culture. Those aren't our languages. Hebrew is our native tongue. So Lashawan Qadash. Lashawan means tongue. Qadash means holy. So it is the holy tongue. That's what we're going to get into today. I'm going to start today's class off the way I start off every class, and that's by going over the alphabet. All right, here we have the Hebrew alphabet, A through Tha, 22 characters. All Hebrew words are made from these letters of these alphabet. It's the same alphabet down below, but different symbols, because it was derived in a different captivity, the Assyrian captivity. This is the ancient Hebrew. So we're going to go over it now, starting with A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Qua, Ra, Sha, and The. All right. Down below, it's the same thing. A through Tha. You see 5 additional characters down here. These are still Ka, Ma, Na, Pa, and Taza, but they look different from the originals, because if a word ends in these letters, then you have to use a different symbol. You don't use the same symbol if the word ends in the symbol. It's a different symbol for the end of the word. There you have it. That's the Hebrew alphabet. So we're going to get into today's class. Today we're going to be, I know some of my classes are, for the majority of the part, my classes are usually basic classes, but today we're going to be going over something a little bit more advanced. We're going to be going over past tense and past tense conjugations of verbs. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to use the verb shamar, which means to watch. So that's where, because in Hebrew, it's a direct language. It's a brutish tongue and a direct language. So we won't say something like that. Yesterday, well, we don't have the fillers, the words that are like it helps you understand what I'm saying by little words like for and the and was. Those type of words aren't in Hebrew. Instead, the actual word is conjugated to make more sense, to give you a more the word is conjugated to give you more of an understanding of the message you're trying to convey. And that's how we're gonna conjugate the word shamar, which means to watch. Let's go ahead and get into it. And how to say past in Hebrew is ibar. So we're going over the word shamar. Color. All right. So shamar, that's the word we're going over. So like I said, we're going to be conjugating the word shamar to fit it in the past tense. Now, you might notice that I only brought up one word to conjugate the past tense. And you might be wondering why he's only have one word. Well, that's because this one word will be broken. It'll be conjugated different ways for different possessive properties. Like if we have past tense, so shamar will be watch. If I were to write I watched, it will be different from you watched, or she watched, or we watched. So all of those the pronouns in this situation make the word or the present tense or the past tense of the word shamar change. And that's what we're going to go over today. The rules of past tense for the different pronouns of a particular word. We're using shamar. So first, we're going to go over first person. And again, today's class is a really good class for your notes. You know what I'm saying? So I will give you time to write it down after I write it, but this is one of those classes where, you know what I'm saying, it's not easy to remember. It's not something like the weather where we could just remember rain is gasham or snow is shalag. Like we have to actually write down the rules for this, and that's what I'm going to do now. So first person. Different marker. black and green, a little bit of red. Lucky. I gotta write this a little bit better, more space. All right. One second. All right, now we got the rules for first person. So first person singular would be I. I is anya in Hebrew. That's how you say I. And how to conjugate the word shamar to say I watched, I shamar would be to add the ya at the end. You do that for all words that you're trying to, all verbs rather, that you're trying to conjugate with for first person singular. Anya shamar would be anya shamar thaya. I wrote anya shamar tha, like you. It's thaya. Tha is a whole different conjugation. Write that again. Add yeah. All right. I'm going to say I watched in Hebrew would be Anya Shamarthaya. Anya Shamarthaya. I watched. That's how I say singular. And also there's first person plural. First person plural is we. So how to say we in Hebrew is Anaknawa. So to say we watched in Hebrew would be Anya Anaknawa Shamarnawa. The rule in that is to add nawa at the end for we. And there's going to be a pattern as we get through this today. You know what I'm saying? As far as the, okay, let me finish the chart. Like, right top. So as the nouns change, the nouns. This is the first person chart. Let me zoom in for your notes. As the nouns will change, the rules will change as well. So shamar, to watch, and to say I watch would be anya shamarthaya. I watched. That's past tense. Shamarthaya is watched, but for only I. That's the rule to add thaya at the end. And to say we watched, we is anaknawa, and watched is shamar nawa. You add nawa at the end of the verb. So anaknawa shamar nawa. We watched. Give you a minute to get that down. Then we're going to go into second person. Now it started off easy with first person because I and we, you know what I'm saying, in Hebrew, saying something as direct as I or we, it's gonna be masculine. But we have to remember when we get into this, masculine and feminine are gonna be introduced. So there'll be additional rules to conjugate the verb with masculinity and femininity, because the words will be feminine or masculine at that point. All right, so we did the first person, which is I or we. So second person would be you. And then there's different senses of you. There's singular. Let me get a different marker. Singular, masculine, singular, feminine, and then there's plural. The singular masculine will be if I'm talking to you as a person, you as a male. Singular feminine, if I'll be you talking to you as a female. Singular plural would be talking to you group of men. So there's plural, not singular plural, but plural masculine. Plural masculine, and then plural feminine. Talking to a group of men or talking to a group of women. So there's nouns for each of these. Talking to a singular masculine and feminine is both the word for singular you is the same for feminine and masculine. It's a thigh. Now, plural masculine is where it gets a little bit tricky. Plural is a thumb. I'm gonna write y'all. And plural feminine is a thun. The rule for singular, a thigh, is to add th at the end. I'm gonna go over it all. I'm just trying to get it down on the board. All right. So we got the rules now. I'm gonna start over with my explanation. So we have second person now. Singular second person will be saying you, and singular to a man would be a thigh, and it'd be the same as singular to a female, a thigh. And so the rule for the rule for conjugating the verb in past tense for saying you, one person, would be add the at the end to the verb. So shamar would be the. Atha shamartha. You watched. You watched. The same for masculine and feminine. Atha shamartha. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that down in the Hebrew. We gotta learn how to write the Hebrew. Atha. And shamartha. Atha shamartha. You watched. Atha shamartha. Next, we have plural second person, which would be a group of people. You're saying you two, or y'all. We say down in the South, y'all watched. And to say y'all as a group of men, it will be atha will be pluralized with ma at the end. So you men would be a thumb, whereas you women would be a thun with a na at the end. A thumb and a thun. You men a thumb, you women a thun. And the rule for the conjugation of the past tense is similar. The pattern we should be noticing is how the end of the noun ends. That's or the how the noun sounds is going to rhyme with the conjugation of the verb. So shamar thumb would be you men watched. You all watched. Talking to men, you all watched. A thumb shamar thumb. You all watched. And a thun, shamar a thun, with a na at the end, would be talking to women. You all watched. A thun, shamar thun, and a thumb, shamar thumb. So let's write it in the Hebrew. All right, so there we have it. We got atha in the Hebrew, a thumb meaning you, talking to one person. Same for masculine and feminine. A thumb talking to multiple people, you, masculine, so talking to a group of men, and a thun, talking to a group of people. You all, feminine group, which is talking to women. A tha, a thumb, and a thun. You or you all, and then we have shamar conjugated to you shamar, a tha shamartha, a thumb shamar thumb, and a thun shamar thun. You watched, you all watched, or you all watched feminine. In the ancient Paleo and Assyrian Hebrew. So that's the second person. Now we're about to get into third person. Third person meaning, so first person is I or we. Second person is you or you all. So third person will be he or she or they. Third person. There's a way to conjugate verbs in masculine and feminine third person as well. Damn, I'm erasing too much. All right. So just like second person, we have singular and plural, third person. So we're gonna start off with singular. Singular male. Third person. Then there's singular female. Then there's plural. Male. And then plural. Female. Margaret's going bad on me again. Nothing. I was just saying my markers are not working for me that well. So singular male would be he, saying third person, one person singular, and third person would be he. And there's a word for that in Hebrew. It's hawa'ah. Hawa'ah. And then singular female would be haya'ah. That's she. plural male to say they, those men, or them in masculine sense, that them men would be Han. That's them as in male. So I'm gonna write they. I'm sorry, Ham, not with the N, because Han is women. Ham. And plural female or feminine would be Han. All right, so we got our nouns, Hawa, which is he, Haya, she, Ham, they, or Han, they in feminine. So now we're going to go into the rules for conjugating past tense verbs or verbs in past tense. So past tense is really easy. We're going to go, we're getting into the tense of these verbs is what I'm going to be doing with this class and the next two classes. This class I'm doing past tense. The next class I'm going to do present tense. And the class after that I'm going to do future tense. So we can start formulating sentences and using verbs and nouns correctly in Hebrew. But past tense is the easiest one out of all of them. Because just for things like I'm about to go over right now, word stays the same. And the same for Haya'ah, which is she. So the word, which is going to be staying the same, is Shamar. It's going to be Hawa'ah Shamar. He watched. Or Haya'ah Shamar. She watched. And for plural, that's singular. The word stays the same as singular. For plural, for masculine, you're going to add a ma at the end of the word. No Salakia. Not a ma. You're going to add a wa at the end. And the same for feminine. This is plural. So the word shamar will be conjugated to shamarwa. And the same for masculine, same for feminine and plural, shamarwa. All right, it's really important to get these notes, early on, because once we start getting into the different tenses, the future tense and the present tense, then it's gonna start getting confusing because the rules we're always gonna be using the same nouns. It's always gonna be anya, anaknoa, haya'ah, hayawa, ham, han, and atha, atham, athan. I, you, we. It's always gonna be the same nouns that we're going over. But these rules are gonna start getting tricky as we start getting into the new tenses. So to get these notes for each tense is pretty important, because as you can see, I'm using a piece of paper just to remember the remembering all three tenses and all of the nouns and the rules for all three tenses can be a bit much. But That's why practice makes perfect. So we have singular and it's the same for singular masculine and singular feminine. But we know that singular masculine starts with Hawa'a and then Hawa'a Shamar. He watched. Singular feminine is Haya'a and then Shamar. The word stays the same. The rule is the same for both masculine and feminine. So Haya'a Shamar, Hawa'a Shamar. And then plural masculine, Ham, they, those men. And then you add a wa at the end of Shamar, of the verb. Ham Shamarwa. Those men watched. They watched. Ham Shamarwa. For plural feminine, it's Han. Han is they. Han Shamarwa. Those women watched. It's the same rule for adding on to the verb, but the noun changes. So you add a wa at the end of the verb, Shamar turned into Shamarwa. Han Shamarwa. Those women watched. They watched. So now all we gotta do is get this in the Hebrew. You will have your notes. So Hawa'a. Shamar. Right this Shamar too. And then Ham. And then Han. I'm gonna go over all I'm trying to get on the board. Shamar what? All right. All right, so there we have it. Third person singular. Masculine is Hawa'a, he. And then the word stays the same for the rule of the verb, Shamar. Hawa'a Shamar, he watched. The same was singular for feminine, but the noun is different. Haya'a is she. Haya'a Shamar, she watched. For plural, you add a wa at the end of the verb. Shamar wa, and the noun is Ham. Ham Shamar wa for masculine. The noun is Han for they in a plural feminine. Han Shamarwa. The rule is the same for plural and feminine as it is in masculine. You add a Y at the end of the verb, Shamarwa, Han Shamarwa. So there you have it. That is how you use past tense. If the verb were to be different, like let's say the word work or to do, I believe that's I-S-H-A. If I-S-H-A is the word, then these rules will be the same. These rules will be the same. Well, I'm going to get us an easier one. I-S-H-A, because it ends in an A, it might be a little bit difficult to understand. But Shemai, to listen. I'm going to just go over this. You could be kind to rewind if you got it for your notes. But I'm gonna just erase this for a second so I can get us some understanding of using different verbs. Those notes that I just had on the board were valuable, so I hope you got them. You can always be kind to rewind and then pause. But those notes were gonna help you in understanding the rules. But let's say we got Shamar to watch. Let's say we had Shamai. Shamai. To listen. So Anya Shamai, we know it's Anya, I listened, add the ya at the end, Shemaya. Anya Shemaya. Or she listened, or let's do the last one we learned. Han. Those men listen. Han. Shemai. Wa. Shemai wa. They listened. Those men listened. We listen would be not Noah. Shemai Noah. So that's just the proper way to conjugate the verb. Anak Noah, Shemai Noah. We listened. That's the proper way to conjugate the verb. I just gave you the rules. So next week we're gonna go over the rules of present tense. We just did past tense. Past ibar, which means the past in the Hebrew. We just did past for the word shamar. Next week we're gonna go over present tense, how to conjugate the word shamar. I'm gonna keep the word the same, but we're gonna go over how to conjugate the word shamar in present tense to say I am watching, or we are watching. We watched. We watched. We past tense we watched, but we will watch, or she is watching. We are watching. Present tense of the word shamar next week. So with that, Israel, I'm gonna give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Barakatham, and to the sisters, Shalom Yahweh Shamar Alatan Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And with that, Shalom.